Fantastic. Thank you, Tori. Morning, everybody. It's so great to see so many of you have signed up for this webinar and have come to join us here this morning. So as Tori says, I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what we do here at ACM, Abbey College Manchester. And then I've got two students who are going to come and give their perception of Abbey College Manchester. And it's completely unscripted, completely unrehearsed. So they are going to give you the genuine student view of ACM. So, Abbey College Manchester, we are a little college. We currently have 212 students on roll from 45 different countries, which is fantastic. So a very small college. We have about 30% domestic students, so students are from the UK, and the remaining 70% of our students come from 44 different countries all around the world. And all the students live together, work together, they study together, they're not in separate classes, apart from obviously for English. But everybody's together in the same classes, so it really is a truly international college and really truly international experience. And the two students who are coming to talk to us later are from two of those countries. We're a boarding school, we're a boarding college. We have roughly 40 to 50% of our students board. The younger students live with homestay hosts, and the older students live in Clydesdale House, which is our fantastic boarding house. It's about a 10-minute walk across town. And here at ACM, we have a range of different courses you can do, and we're very flexible in our approach, because we know that everybody wants to do something slightly different. Everybody has different strengths, and success for different people is different things, and we'll guide you through what we think is the best thing for you based on many years experience. And because we're so small, we are a very supportive environment. Lots and lots of individual support is available, so you're not going to come in and find yourself in classes of 25 as you do in most independent schools, or 30 or 35 as you do in the state schools here in the UK. Our maximum class size is 12, and the same is true for the tutor groups. All right, so for the pastoral support, the maximum tutor group size is 12. And again, it means the teachers, the tutors, everybody gets to know you really well. It also means that in class, you've got an awful lot more teacher time. You can ask those questions, you can get those questions answered, rather than just being a name or a number. Everybody gets to know you really well. And because we are mainly sixth form, it's a little bit more independent, a little bit more relaxed. And that's not to say it's not focused, because it is extremely focused. But there's no uniform. Okay, there's no bells. Everybody's on first name terms. Okay, so I'm principal, but you call me Chris. My assistant principals, Nigel, Ian, Mark, everybody's on first name terms. And all of our teachers, they are absolute experts in the subjects they teach. Most of them have been teaching here for a number of years. And the results that I'm sure you've looked on the website, the results that our students get every year under their guidance are really good. So we have a motto here at ACM, and the motto is achieving success together, because it's very much, we see it very much as a partnership. And of course, for different people, what defines success is very different. And because we are small, because we can give you that individual support, we can help you reach your goals. So for some people, success is getting 4 A stars at A level, getting 6 grade 9s at GCSE, getting 80% in their IFP. And here's just a snapshot, the headlines of the results from summer 2022. So 38% A star to A, 64% A star to B at A level. Then the middle row is the IFP students, that's the International Foundation Programme. Some of you who are on the webinar today are coming to join us in September for the 1-year IFP programme. And then at the bottom there, we've got the GCSE and IGCSE results, 31% 8 and 9, 40% 9 to 7, which we were really pleased with our cohort last summer. For many people, on the A-level course and or the IFP or the Combined Studies Programme course, success is gaining entry to your first choice university. Now, the students who leave us go to universities all over the world. Most stay at universities here in the UK. Most students who come to join us, they come to join us because they want to go to university in the UK. And we offer a very, very wide range of A-levels, a very wide range of IFP courses, which enable students to go on studying, as it says there, medicine, engineering, law, economics, marketing, computer science, business, sports, languages, philosophy, psychology. The list is very long, and we have a long list of partner universities and an ever-growing list of partner universities who accept the IFP, who accept the CSP, and who accept our students directly onto their medicine courses. So in 2022, over 32% of the IFP students progressed to Russell Group universities, including Edinburgh, King's College London, Queen Mary, Sheffield, and Warwick. It goes in kind of cycles. Last year, KCL, King's College London, was the #1 destination for Abbey College students. In previous years, it's been Nottingham or Leeds or Manchester. And the same number, same percentage of our A-level students also got to Russell Group universities: Oxford, Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool. So we were really proud of the way the last year's students worked. And it is absolutely a testament to the hard work that they put in, the focus they put in, alongside their teachers, working with their teachers to realise those dreams and get to where they wanted to go. Obviously, for some people, success might not be defined by academic results. It might not be defined by getting to a Russell Group university. It might be learning English. It might be moving from an A1 to a B2 in English. It might be getting that GCSE maths that you've struggled with. And again, we will help you realise those dreams. Alongside the Achieving Success Together motto, we have the 5 R's, and the 5 R's kind of underpin all of the work we do, and their attitudes, their behaviours that we try and encourage in our students, and their routine, rigor, responsibility, resilience, and reflection. The A-level course, the 2-year A-level course, 1-year A-level course, it's a really difficult course. Without routine and rigor, you're not going to succeed. Without taking responsibility for your own learning, you're not going to succeed. Without resilience, it's going to be really tough. One of the hardest things can be to pick yourself up off the ground when you get something wrong. Have a teacher say, "No, sorry, that's a grade D." When you're aiming for that grade A, you have to be really resilient and reflect. Reflect on your own work, and again, working in partnership with your teachers on how to improve. And again, this takes me back to the small class size. In a class size of 12, teachers have far more time to spend with each individual student. We use Microsoft Teams for a lot of the teaching, and this was a happy thing. This was a good thing that came out of COVID. One of the only good things that did come out of COVID was the teachers' use of Teams. They now all have all their resources digitally available on Teams. Video lessons with voiceovers, PowerPoints with voiceovers, again, all that they all created during lockdown, and they will share all of those with you. And also all homework and all work is done through Teams, and it tends to be done through either assignments or OneNote. And it's a really good way of staying on top of your work, of organising your work, and also seeing the progress you make through the year. One of the other functions that we like on Microsoft Teams is chat. Again, if you're, if let's say you're doing some chemistry homework and you're a little bit stuck on it and you're working in the learning centre, you can send a chat message to your teacher, to Paul or to Alex, and if they can, they'll answer straight away. They might say, "Oh, pop up to the lab, just come up and see me, and we can go through it." Sometimes students, if they're in year 13, they might sit at the back of a year 12 lesson to do their work, and again, so they've got much more access to the teacher for as and when they need that support. So during students' time with us, we will guide your education, and that might be from sitting down talking about year 12 choices. It might be going through university choices. It might just be talking about how to get to the next level. We have regular academic meetings, and we report home to parents, guardians, agents every half term. And this year we've introduced a new reporting system, which we call PATCH. And PATCH stands for Progress, Areas for Development, Target Grade, Current Grade, How to Get to the Next Level, and Homework. Okay, and each half term your teachers will report on each one of those things in every subject, but also you will be having conversations with your teachers about your patch throughout the whole year. And then what we also do every term is we have what we call an ACE day, which stands for Abbey College Evaluation Day, where students will sit down with their tutor and go through their patch. And again, this comes back to the 5 R's, this comes back to rigor, this comes back to resilience, this comes back to reflection, where students will sit and talk about their own learning, where they've got to and what they need to do to improve. And again, it just puts the students at the heart of their own learning rather than a traditional parenting, because this has replaced parenting rather than the traditional parenting when the subject teachers are talking at the parents about the student. We now have the students talking to their tutors about their own progress and about kind of what they need to do to improve. So those meetings happen every term, and we also have a house system, and the heads of house will also intervene if needed, if and when needed, and the house parents are parents' first point of contact. For those students who are in year 13 or on the 1-year IFP or CSP course, we also have bespoke UCAS classes. And UCAS, for those of you who don't know, is the system through which you apply to universities here in the UK. It's a bit of a complicated system for UK domestic students as well as for international students. So we put on these, we put these classes, and they are timetable classes. 2 of my assistant principals run them, so either Mark for IFP students, Nigel for A-level students. You'll be in one of those classes, and though you'll stay in the UCAS class until your UCAS journey has come to an end, until you've sent off that application. And again, they will guide you through the whole process of signing up, making your choices, filling out the form, doing the personal statement, etc., 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 until it's all done, until you no longer need that support. We also do end of year reviews with all of our students just to see how they're getting on. Lots of students, as I said before, do swap courses, do swap from an A-level course to an IFP or a CSP course. And again, that's never done in a vacuum. That's never done without support or guidance. So you will sit down towards the end of year 12. Those of you who are coming to join us in year 12, you'll sit down towards the end of the year with either your head of house or with me and Paul. Paul's director of the science faculty, and we'll talk about your progress. We'll talk about the best course for you, kind of moving forwards. What we don't want is students who are really struggling, who are kind of finding themselves completely kind of swimming against the tide. We want to be able to support you. I want to be able to make sure you're doing the most appropriate course for you. And for those of you who need the IELTS for visa purposes to get to university, you will also have IELTS lessons, and that's year 11, 12, 13 academic English for those of you who need more English. Again, we don't test for entry, but we will test on entry, okay, which means that for those of you who don't have English as a first language, when you come and join us in the first week or so in your IELTS lesson, you will do an English test just to see, so we can see what your level is, and we can put you in the most appropriate class. And again, because the classes are small, some of the classes might focus specifically on writing, some might focus specifically on reading or listening or whatever it may be. And again, we can put that bespoke support in. This isn't a sausage factory, as we call it. We're a very small college where we can really help individuals. So what does the college day look like? Well, we're introducing a new timetable for September 2023, and there it is. So it's hour-long lessons, and we're going from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Morning break, lunch. So lunch period isn't particularly long. It's kind of 35 minutes, but that's to make sure that you don't get tempted to go shopping or spend a long time in a restaurant, because, as I said before, we are right in the centre of Manchester. Lots of temptations on the doorstep. So just gonna have a sip of water, excuse me. And on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have early bird study sessions, and that is for students who are in Clydesdale House. Initially, they will have 3 each week. Then once we have seen that the students are making good progress, their attendance is good, and their bedrooms are always tidy, then we're more than happy to kind of drop that down from 3 to 2. And again, it's a trust thing. All of this has to work on trust. Once the students have proved that we can trust them, shown we can trust them, then we will give them that trust. So there's a few photos there of some of the facilities we have here in college. That's the Learning Centre, top left, then that's the Graphics Suite, top right, one of the Science Labs, bottom left, and one of the Computer Suites, bottom right. Obviously, students have to have their own devices now, but we do have a number of PCs as well. On a Wednesday afternoon, we have an enrichment slot. And enrichment is there to give you an opportunity to do something different, to, as it says, enrich your timetable. And there are many different clubs and things, activities going on a Wednesday afternoon. As it says there's football, basketball, yoga, badminton. There's various gyms that students go to, and there's other clubs run by members of staff and run by visiting teachers. Art photography, board games is always a really popular one, and it's great to see the students all sitting around playing different board games. And that's kind of a compulsory session for students. And next year it will be period 6 on a Wednesday, so it'll be from 3 till 4 on a Wednesday. For those people who are doing sport, the sport is off-site. They'll be able to go home straight from there. And there's also a very, very popular music enrichment. We have 2 visiting teachers, one who is a piano teacher and one who is a singing teacher. And they're also happy to facilitate other instruments. We often have guitarists. And the students who do the music enrichment, then they get to perform at various college events, and it's always great to hear lots of different music from all around the world and see performers from a whole range of different countries. So in boarding, there are also activities. There are activities every night and at weekends. And again, you know, if you come and join us, in boarding, if there's something you're passionate about, then you'll be invited to, if you want, you know, help run that club or offer to run a new club, to get different students engaged in your kind of favorite hobby. Then one of the unique selling points about Abbey College Manchester is our academic studies with sports programs. So this started 5 years ago with football, and we had 5 students on the football course, and since then it's grown and grown and grown. We now have football with International House. We have basketball with the Manchester Giants, who are the professional basketball team here in Manchester. And for September 2023, we're launching cycling in conjunction with the Manchester Velodrome, so where the British cycling team train. And we're also launching tennis, which again is at the North Tennis Centre. And all of these sports are available with any of the academic courses. And the way it works is you would do your academic studies, your academic lessons here in college in the morning, and then go and do sports in the afternoon. And it would be 3, 4, or 5 afternoons practice, depending on the sport, depending on the course you're doing, depending on kind of what you want to do. Quite often students say, oh, I want to play football 5 days a week, train 5 days a week. But after a week or 2, they realize that's quite a lot. That's really difficult, and they kind of drop down. But all of the facilities are professional facilities. And what we've noticed is that students who don't have English as a first language, but who go to basketball or football training, because they are training with other youngsters who do have English as a first language, their English improves enormously because the coaches are always talking English. So that really helps with their English. Good morning, guys. So I've got my two students are here. So I'm gonna finish talking and I'll pass over to the two students. So Clydesdale House, both the students who've just joined us are both in Clydesdale House. They're able to talk to you a little bit more about it in a minute. So as I say, it's not here in college. It's about a 6 to 10 minute walk away, depending on how fast you walk and how many times you stop for coffee on your way. These guys both smell like they've just been drinking coffee. And you can only live in Clydesdale House if you're over 16. You have to be over 16 on the 1st of September. Okay. It's the building was only open, I think it was 4 years ago. And unluckily for the people who own it, it opened when COVID hit. So for the first year, there was nobody living in it. So basically, when we moved in last year, our guys were the first people to ever live in there. The facilities are fantastic. It's really nice. Everybody gets their own single study bedroom, ensuite. So you get your own bathroom. You don't share a bathroom with anybody. You got a nice big bed, a desk, a wardrobe, and then we've got 3-4 house parents who live in, so there's always people there to support and talk to you. We do all the cooking as well. We've got a fantastic chef called Esther, and she does the evening meals and also provides a packed lunch for lunch. So there's some photos there of Clydesdale House. So as I say, only students over 16 can live in Clydesdale House. If you are under 16, when you come to join us, you will have to live with one of our host families. And this year we've got about, I think, 27 students living with host families. It's a popular option. Sometimes students, when they do turn 16, they choose to stay with their host family rather than moving to Clydesdale House, because they become part of the family. So we've got 2 boys in year 13 who've been with us since they were year 10. So they've been with us 4 years and they've always lived with the same host family. They really do become part of the family. The advantage of living with a host family is, the host families are all English, so your English will improve a lot, and you get to experience kind of real life living here in Manchester. They live kind of all around Greater Manchester, so if you do come live with a host family, they will show you kind of how to travel in by tram or train or bus, do the journey kind of for the first time with you, and show you kind of where to go and what's about in the area they live in. So why is the Abbey College Manchester then? So Manchester is a really cool city. We'll get onto some Manchester slides in a minute, but it's a safe city. It's a diverse city. It's a city that's not too big. As I say, you've got absolute specialist teachers who love their subjects. Maximum class size is 12. It's a really good stepping stone to university. And we work with lots of universities and give you lots of support to kind of move on to the next step. Manchester, there we go. So, that's a horrible picture bottom right. I thought we got rid of the Manchester United one, but there we go. So two awesome football teams. It's the only city to feature in Lonely Planet's Best Travel 23 list. It's a really young city. It's a really vibrant city. It's got 3 or 4 huge universities. It's got fantastic music scene, sports scene, art scene. Everybody wants to be here. It's a hugely cosmopolitan city. And there we go. As we can see, it's only 2 hours by train from London, 2.5 hours up to Edinburgh, 40 minutes over to Liverpool, or an hour and a half to the Lake District. And there's a little map there of the centre of Manchester, and that basically is the whole of the city centre. It is a very small city, and if you can see where kind of Town Hall and Albert Square are, Abbey College Manchester is basically there. We are right slap bang in the centre, which is a fantastic location. So why Manchester? There we go. So there's a few little facts about Manchester. It's the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th, 19th century. It's proud history in science, politics, music, arts, and sports. Progressive vision to be a city that delivers surprise and delight in equal measure. If you come and visit us, I don't think there's any photos on here. We used to have some photos on here kind of comparing the architecture, because the architecture walking around Manchester is beautiful. You've got old industrial buildings right next to glass and steel buildings, and it's a really cool city. An eclectic mixture of restaurants, bars, shops, museums. So where the boarding house is, it's in an area in Manchester called the Northern Quarter, which is a really cool quarter, really cool area, lots of cool shops and bars and restaurants, but also lots of nice traditional pubs, green spaces, canals, and lots of stuff kind of going on throughout the year in Manchester. And all of these things come from Manchester. The atom was first split in Manchester in 1917 by Rutherford, and the lab he first split it in at Manchester University is still radioactive. But him doing that in 1917 gave rise to the possibility of nuclear power. Emmeline Pankhurst, she was one of the famous suffragettes. She came from Moss Side in Manchester. Alan Turing, the father of modern computing, was from Manchester. The English Football League was born in Manchester in 1888. Rolls-Royce cars were founded in Manchester in 1904. Vimto, my favourite drink. Canals, the first Earl of Bridgewater invented canals in the 1700s. The first ever passenger railway came from Manchester. Graphene, the thinnest material ever, comes from Manchester University. The thread on screws. So next time you screw something, you look at the little line around it, that comes from Manchester. Vegetarianism, business, submarines, and the co-op. All of those things were made in Manchester. So my question to you is, what can you add to that list after studying here at ACM? Right, that's enough of me talking, so I've got a very sore throat. So I'm going to pass over. Who wants to speak first?
Okay.
Excellent, fantastic. So I will pass you over to Yahor, who he will introduce himself. He will tell you all about himself, where he's from, what he's studying, and then we'll ask him some questions. And I'll pass over to Parmis. So if we go in there, boom, there we go.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Ihor. I'm from Ukraine. I'm studying on A-level chemistry, biology, and maths. I'm here for like half a year from September.
You've been here since September?
Yep. Yeah, half a year. My experience is pretty good and exciting for me because this school is a little bit different from Ukrainians ones. It's small, but I think it's an advantage of the school because if it's like you feel like in home, because a tiny room and teacher can support you much better if there's low people in the class. So for me, it's the high advantage.
Why did you choose to come to Manchester?
My friends recommended because my brother was studying nearby and lots of his friends was here, so they recommended.
And what do you think you have learned since being here in Manchester?
How to live independently. It's really nice skill, I think.
So you live in Clydesdale House?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about Clydesdale House then.
Clydesdale is a good house. It's in center. There's Arndale nearby, huge center market
Shopping mall.
Yeah, shopping mall.
Yeah.
Market street with lots of shops. There is like food, restaurants, everything you want, clothes. So it's good in positioning. Housekeepers is great guys.
Yeah.
They're helping me a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you do your own cooking? Do you eat Esther's cooking? Do you do a mixture?
I love to cook by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what do you like to cook?
Some chicken stuff. Just normal student meal.
Okay.
Chicken spaghetti.
Okay. And what about your lessons here in college? What do you like about your lessons here in college?
The teachers give me some like pushes to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just sitting and pretending to do nothing.
Yeah.
So, and for me, it's the high advantage because I think I'm the lazy person. I don't want to do everything that I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if teachers say, hey, you need to do this, I will try to do this. But if everybody would say, no, it's like, it's okay, you cannot do this, I won't. So for me, it's.
And what's your target for next year in terms of grades and in terms of university?
I think for the next year, just improve my English and improve my skills in chemistry and biology.
And what are you aiming for in terms of grades? What would you like to get?
A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you want to study at university?
Liverpool, University, Manchester, some maybe out of country.
Okay. And what subject do you want to study?
Pharmacy.
Why pharmacy?
I don't know. I just love chemistry.
Cool.
And it's nearby biology,
Yeah.
my second favorite subject. So I thought pharmacy would be the great choice for me because I would love to be a doctor, but I don't want to work with people.
Okay.
So
Okay.
pharmacy is the right choice for me.
Excellent. Okay, cool. And you're getting lots of support from your teachers to kind of guide you towards pharmacy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lots of
Brilliant. Okay, we'll
recommendations.
come back to you in a second. We will move on now. Here we go. Student number 2,
Hello,
Parmis.
my name is Parmis and I'm from Iran. And this is also my first year here. I came here since September and I'm also living in the boarding house. And my subjects are biology, chemistry, and math, the same as before. Yeah, and also I think coming here to Manchester was a great experience for me personally. I chose this city because London was really crowded for me, and I don't really like crowded places. And Manchester is like a not crowded place for me, and I think I made a good choice because when I visited London, I was right, and it was pretty crowded. And if you want to like focus on your studying, choosing Manchester would be a good idea because you won't have any like much distractions in the city or anything. And also the boarding house is pretty fun because you get to live with your friends and you have, for example, if you're in the wing of the girls, you can like become friends with them and like cook with them and like go in the common room with something. And sometimes you won't feel alone or lonely. So it's pretty fun to like live in the boarding house as well. And
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. And what about, so same question to you then, what's your kind of target for next year?
Well, my target for year because I want to become a surgeon. I need
Okay.
2 A stars and 1 A's. So it's a pretty hard target.
Pretty hard
Yeah.
target. And where do you want to go to university?
Actually, I during the Christmas I went to visit Birmingham.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and I thought that the University of Birmingham had, like there was a lot of great researchers around the museums. So I thought maybe that would be a good university to choose.
Cool.
And also Imperial College or then I also have considered other university as well, but these two are my main choices.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And what do you like about Manchester then as a city?
As a city, I think Manchester because it's like it's pretty like modern and like after visiting a lot of cities in the UK, I realized that Manchester is like a more international based city in the UK.
Yeah.
And you can like see a lot of different people here, which is I think is easier to get adapted to when you're first arriving here.
First getting it, absolutely. And so both of you do IELTS lessons with us?
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't? You've done your IELTS?
Yeah.
And what did you get in your IELTS?
I finished my IELTS. I got my IELTS when I was 14. I got a 6.5.
Very good.
Yeah, and after that I got a TTC, which is a teaching training course. So when I came here, they told me that I don't need them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you're doing IELTS lessons?
Yeah, I'm doing IELTS lessons because I have really fun situation. When the war started, I passed my IELTS like the day ago.
Oh, no.
So they lost my results.
No.
Yeah,
dear.
and for some reason my friends have similar things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and I feel like I need IELTS lesson just to keep on level.
Yeah. And you enjoying the IELTS lessons, or is it hard? Is it really tough? Or
I don't think it's hard.
okay,
but I'm enjoying it.
good. And what's your target for IELTS? I imagine if you want to do pharmacy, probably somewhere around 7.5.
7.5.
Very good. Very good. Fantastic. Well, really, really great to talk to you both. I think Tori, I think there might be some questions for our 2 students. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, I'm just unmuting. Yes, there is.
There we go.
Hang on. I got my video started. That's great. Hi. Right. So yes. So one of the questions, knowing that you are both boarding and living in Clydesdale, can you tell us a little bit about what you do the weekend, please?
Personally, during weekends, like I prefer to like travel. Like I book a train, I travel and come back before the curfew. personally. That's what I do in the weekends. But
I have the same. I love to walk, experience some new places. So I just book a train and go to like Liverpool or nearby cities, just see some new things.
Okay.
And I think
So you find that it's easy to travel from Manchester to get to different places?
yeah, because Manchester is placed like in the middle of the map, so it's pretty easy to go anywhere, and like even like from to Scotland to Edinburgh is like 4 hours, so you can even go to Scotland in one day.
yeah, and trains is pretty cheap, like £5 to Liverpool if you book a ticket like the day before. So there's no problem to travel.
Yeah, or for if you want to go to London, if you book like 3 weeks before it, you can like go to London like £28, which is pretty good. Yeah,
Very good. Very good.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then, so when you're in Manchester, what is your favourite thing to do in Manchester?
Maybe like going to the cinema at Printworks with our friends. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
For me, I just love to walk near canals because yesterday I saw like ducks there. They appeared.
Yeah.
So
Spring is coming, so there'll be
Yeah.
lots of little baby ducks soon and baby geese
Yeah, I
and
was
baby.
gonna say it's quite nice for walking. It's
No.
yeah, it's nice and flat, and you've got some lovely places that you can walk and go and visit. Okay, I'm just also want to ask to our attendees who are here, has anyone else got any questions that they would like to ask our two students who are here? Anything else that they'd like to know about the college? Well, I'm just waiting to see. So both of you started here in September. So maybe just tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first arrived, how you kind of felt and how you sort of settled into the college.
Well, everything was pretty easy to understand at first because everybody wanted to help us, and our house parents were really kind, and like they explained everything really well. When I arrived, like they spent like an hour just to explain to me how everything works, where everything is, and which was pretty good. Yeah.
for me, I was like pretty scared because my parents was trying to protect me. I have like 2 older brothers, and they were studying in England since like 13 years old. So they have the experience, and they give this experience to me. So I was like very well prepared. But for me, this I don't know how to say, scares of unknown. It was pretty hard, but I adapted, I think, really fast and really well. So not my problem.
Okay, that's good. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just going to mute. I've got messages coming in. Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to say, that you'd like to share with everyone that's listening?
I don't know, maybe not.
Is there any advice that you'd give to someone any advice that you'd give to someone who's thinking of joining, they're looking at starting here at Manchester?
Well, for example, if they don't want to, for example, like boarding houses are really great, but it's not good for people that want to like live a bit more for example, because you have curfews, you need to be in the boarding house at 9, so be sure to like keep that in mind where you want to go for a boarding house. And for example, also mind that the kitchens are closed at nights, so you can't eat anything during the night.
Well, you can eat, you just can't cook.
You can just
You can
cook.
eat, you just can't cook.
Everything is in the fridge,
Yeah,
so
okay.
most of the time you can't even. And yeah, for people that don't like the situation, just mind that as well. And also, I think that's most of it.
Yeah. I would like to say, just don't be scared of experiencing something new for you.
Yeah, very good advice. Very good advice.
That is indeed. Okay, right. So it doesn't look as though any of our participants have any further questions. So at this point, I will probably say thank you very much to everyone who has attended this session today, and thank you very much to Chris, Parmis and Johan for their for speaking and their insights into life at Abbey College Manchester. And I think we'll end the session. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tori. Thanks, guys. Well done.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.